So, I think we're online. Yes, that sounds brilliant. Good evening to Netra. Hi, Count Beauty. Perfect timing as always. Okay, Zachariah asked me, he said, what's the what's the best book you've ever read and has impacted on my life? Well, I don't know. I'm a real science fiction fan. I think maybe 1984 or Brave New World, one of those two, or maybe as well, I'm very fond of the play Pygmalion by George Bernard Shaw. So I better start saying some good evening. Good evening, Beauty, Eloine, Victor, Cheyenne, MG, Human, wonderful to see you. So, I got a question here from Nora. Good evening, MD. Good evening, Alexei. Would I make a video about the word distill and the noun a distillation? Good evening, Renyard. Good evening, Khalid. Well, the first thing with this phrase to distill, you see this word still. Well, still has various meanings, and a still is something you can use to concentrate alcohol to make it stronger. Good evening, Riffman Siglo. So to distill is to take something that's dilute and make it stronger. Good evening, Manjira. So, for example, you take wine and you distill wine and you make brandy out of it. So it's when you have a solution of something that's not very strong and you make it stronger. Good evening, Emilio. And then distillation is the process of distilling, the process of making stronger. So I guess if you write a summary of something, you are distilling it. It's a distillation of that piece of work. Good evening, Ricardo, and good evening, English Vibes, and it's good to see you, Sarah, as well. So I've got another question here. Like dilute. If something's dilute, you make it stronger by distilling it, by making it stronger. It's a distillation. Okay, hi there. If possible, could you please make a video explaining the phrase, the hell you say? Good evening, Antonio Castillo. So the hell you say, this is when you are very strongly against what somebody says. So, I don't know, my son says, I'm going out to a party, my 14-year-old son says, I'm going out to a party tonight. I'll be back tomorrow morning. And then I say, the hell you're going to at that party tonight? You're staying at home. So this is saying I'm very strongly against it. I don't like the idea. I'm going to do what I can to stop you. Good evening, Kit. Good evening, Manu, as well. So maybe somebody says, I'm going to fire this guy from the company. The hell you're going to fire this guy? He's a really good worker, so I'm going to do everything I can to keep him on the books, to keep him working. To instill, to put something into somebody, to instill a love of English, to instill a love of good food. I like to imprint their mind, to inspire. That's very good. And good evening, Verga and Lavinia. Great to see you. Okay, so let's try another one. This one was from Vig777 Arm. Please make a video about the word profound. I never seem to get the meaning of it. So good evening, Matteo. So I just copied down a dictionary definition. We'll go through it. So if something is profound, it has or shows or requires great insight or understanding. a profound thinker, a profound analysis. This is talking about deep, in depth, looking at it in a very in the most complicated way. So if something is profound, he's a very profound thinker. He thinks about very deep and philosophical things. You could have profound meaning deeply felt or deeply held, intense. He has profound contempt for authority, deep contempt for authority, a profound conviction. He's very convinced this is true. Then this third one here, thorough, far-reaching, profound social changes. I hope my English teaching has a profound effect on your English. I like that one, a profound poem. Good poetry is profound. There are lots of things to read between the lines, quite happy. Then profound, unqualified or unbroken. A profound silence, a long silence, a profound sleep. Okay, so a long period that is not broken. Yes, exactly. A profound person reflects a lot. Profound knowledge. Yeah, I believe you have fairly profound knowledge of English. And then finally, I'm not too happy with this one. Situated at, extending to or coming from a great depth, deep, a profound chasm. I'm not very happy about using it like deep, because most commonly we use it metaphorically to talk about thoughts and things like that. Ad profundis, from the depth. I like that Renyard. Good evening, Emin. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave these and we're going to do some real work. Contemplative. Contemplate, that's a good word as well. Yeah? So, undertone and overtone. So an undertone is something that you can't exactly hear, but it's there, it's present. And an overtone, again, is something that it's not directly said or stated, but you can feel it. So, insight. If you have insight, you understand something very deeply, very profoundly. Okay, so let's try some idioms. To take superficial actions while ignoring a much larger and perhaps more fatal problem. To rearrange on the... So notice you're ignoring a much larger problem. So what about the answer to this? Okay, what type of chairs, Vitaly? They're specific about the chairs. I'm glad to see you're here, Vitaly. So I hope you enjoyed the video, BG. Illumination, yes. The deck chairs, that's it, Manjira. Exactly. So to rearrange and this needs to be in deck chairs on the Titanic. So this, if you think about it, the Titanic is this big ship that's sinking, glug, 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 glug. And the people are rearranging the deck chairs, putting the chairs in different places so that they'll be more comfortable and better. This is clearly crazy. You need to think, that's it, Vitaly. You need to think about the important problem, not do something superficial. I think very often politicians spend their lives rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. They do the easy things that people want them to do and are of no consequence, but they're very reticent. They don't like taking the strong decisions. Yeah, so a deck chair is a chair literally to go on the deck of a ship. But this is the chair you sit in the sun. You go to the beach and you sit in the sun on the beach, and you probably sit on a deck chair. Deck chairs normally fold flat. That's it, Manu. Yeah, the surface of the ship. So, happy Sunday to you, Picora, as well. Okay, so they're reticent. Yeah, so try this next one. To be having a consistent run of success. To be on a winning streak. I like that very much, Abby. Yeah. And the other one, yes, very definitely. If you're looking out, Lavinia, you're looking for danger. But this is a run of success. Hubby got this one bang straight in. And there you go, Vitalia Mangiera. Yes, I thought you two would get it as well. So to be on a roll, but I also liked Hubby to be on a winning streak. It works very nicely. To be on a hit streak, a winning streak, to be on a roll. If you're on a high, you feel really good. I guess a high would work as well. To be on a hot streak would work. But I think the most common one is a roll. So this is what people say when they're gambling or they're at the casino or something like that. They're on a roll. Yeah, if you're on the lookout, you're looking around, being careful. So, Matteo, good evening. Some words that ten informality. Well, heretofore I have given no 10 formality words in this class. Heretofore, before this point, very formal word. That's got to be a 10. To attend a party without being invited. Yeah, so this is when you go to a party without an invitation. That's good, Tanetra. So, to a party, and the person who does this is known as a... So what Tanetra said... Okay, yes, that's very good. Vitalie and Tomek as well. So, hubby... This was my point with this, is to crash a party, definitely, or to gate crash a party. But I would call the person a gate crasher. I don't think I'd call them a crasher. Okay, so to gate crash, that's very good, MD. Yeah, to crash a party, to gate crash a party. Mangiera. Very good. Okay, if you're on a winning streak, you're winning very well. To turn up out of the blue is to appear from the... Yes, exactly. That's much better English vibes. So, did you ever gate crash a party? It can be really good fun gate crashing a party, because only a good party's worth gate crashing anyway. Yeah, so, gate crash a party. That sounds real fun. I remember once gate crashing a May ball in Oxford when I was about 20. It was brilliant. So let's try the next one then. If somebody is combative, they want conflict, they're eager to argue or fight, we say they are for a fight. Chasing pavements. I don't know that phrase. Beating the pavement, very definitely. Eager, there's a better word. I'm looking up for a fight. Both of these, but I'm looking for another word, a specific word. Eager for confrontation, on the warpath works. Eager for a fight works. Asking for a fight. Yes, all of these work. But up for a fight definitely works. I'm going to have to put up. But there's a word I'm looking for. Hungry for a fight? So, none of you know this one. Spoiling for a fight. This is the phrase I would use. Good evening, me. Yes, Cheyenne. That's it. You got it as I'm writing it. So if somebody's spoiling for a fight, that's it. You're here. Yeah, looking for a fight. That works as well. Yeah, to be truculent. I like that very much. To be spoiling for a fight. That's it, Vitalia. You need that one to be pugnacious, to be anxious. But spoiling for a fight. Looking for a fight. Yes, I know you did, Cheyenne. You were the first one to get this. I thought nobody was going to get it until you, Cheyenne, said spoil. Yeah, to be spoiling for a fight. This is when you're looking for a fight. You're looking for problems. And gate crashing, absolutely, Picorro. Yeah. Turn up out of the blue. Yeah, to appear from nothing. I don't know. Chasing the pavement. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what she means. Okay. A warmonger. Yes, I think a warmonger is more like a politician or a leader or a king who's spoiling for a fight. Yeah, well, they're overly outraged. They just want to fight. They're spoiling for a fight. So, not make a judgment on a person or a situation before seeing the end result, even if the situation seems like it will fail. To give somebody so here we go. So let's see who got this first. So MG definitely got this first, and Hubby was in there as well. That's correct, Lavinia. Spoiling for a fight. Good work, Tomek. Good work, Count Beauty. And Vitalier. And English Vibes. Balderdash is absolute nonsense. Yeah, Henry would say balderdash. The benefit of the doubt to Netra. The benefit of the doubt, Manjira. Well done, head through this. Yeah. So, the clean of the chest, no. So to give somebody the benefit of the doubt, yeah, this is when you think something's going to be no good, but you let them go ahead anyway, because until it's bad or you're certain it's no good, then it's normally best to give people the benefit of the doubt. People are innocent until proven guilty, I think is the idea. Yes, that's good, English Vibes. I like it. Whatever you presumed, you ignore it and cut the person some slack by not doubting them. Absolutely. Acquiesce or concede to somebody. Yeah, to acquiesce to something. Yeah, even though it looks like it's not going to be so good. Ah, this one's easy. This next one's easy. Yeah. So, yeah, give him the benefit of the doubt. Let him show that he doesn't know what he's talking about, and then we'll know exactly. But until they do it, you can't really prove if it's going to be bad or not. So, this one's easy. To worsen tension that already exists. To add to the... Yeah, it's not a crime until you're caught. Absolutely. That's quite good. Damnaku. Okay. And by not suspecting them. So notice MG is to add insult to injury. But Cheyenne, English Vibes has got this one too. Add fuel to the fire. Cheyenne's got this as well. Yes, so to add tension, to rub salt into the wound, that would be good as well. But here I'm looking for to add fuel to the fire. I guess you could probably add oil to the fire as well, Count Beauty. To rub salt into the wound. I'm going to write that here. Rub salt into the wound. To add insult to injury. Both of those work. But this is to add fuel to the fire. Yeah? Fuel to the fire. Like, so, well done, Satendra. I wouldn't add salt to the injury. I'd rub salt into the wound, Javi. Okay, to add insult to injury. Yeah. So notice the way these are put together are slightly different. Yeah. So he rubbed salt into the wound. He added insult to injury. He added fuel to the fire. Yes, wood to the fire. Madera al fuego. Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to do one more. Yes, let's do this one. This one's easy. Yeah, this last one. Good evening, Flexibilly. I like that name. It's quite good. Okay, so remember, to rub salt into the wound, to add insult to injury, to add fuel to the fire. Add food to the dog. I love it. That's very good, Lavinia. To cause more trouble, to stir up more unpleasant things, and do nothing to ameliorate it. Sounds great. So well done, Vitalia. You're right in there. You're on form as always. So a difficult task given right after one has assumed new responsibilities. A baptism, and Vitalia, Count Beauty, and Hadi. Very definitely. Well done. And MG. And I'm sure in a second they're going to be a load more new ones as well. So a baptism by, I think it's by a pastor. Well, in this case the pastor is fire. I think it's a baptism by fire. I've heard as well a baptism of fire. Good head through this. Yeah, so by or of and fire, very definitely. Okay, so a baptism by fire. Absolutely, Manu. A baptism of fire. This is when your first day on the job and you have to do something really difficult. That's what we call a baptism of fire. Okay, so let's try a little story. Good evening, Misha. Good to see you. The acid test. That's the key test that shows that something is true. To me, the acid test, when you want to confirm that something's made of gold, you need to use nitric acid to test whether it's made of gold. Well, yeah, and I think that's why the acid test. Is it gold or not? That's very good as well, Vitalia. To be thrown in at the deep end. Okay, my friends, story time, here we go. So this story is called The Snail and the Mirror. And the questions are, what effect did the snail have on the mirror, and what moral would you give the story? To be thrown in at the deep end, I like that one. Wait a second, so yes. A snail found a mirror, and when she saw how brightly the mirror shone, he the mirror, she fell in love with him. She quickly climbed up onto the mirror's round surface and began to lick him. The snail was clearly no good for the mirror, and only dirtied his radiance with filth and slime. A monkey then found the mirror after it had been dirtied by the snail and remarked, "That's what happens when you let someone walk all over you." I love eating snails too, Lavinia. And that's very good. Yeah, the snail made the mirror dirty. Absolutely. Let me read it again. A snail found a mirror, and when she, the snail, saw how brightly he, the mirror, shone, she fell in love with him. She quickly climbed up onto the mirror's round surface and began to lick him. The snail clearly was no good for the mirror, and only dirtied his radiance with filth and slime. A monkey then found the mirror after it had been dirtied by the snail, and remarked, "That's what happens when you let someone like that walk all over you." Eating snails, yummy, yummy. So, yes, absolutely, Avin, the snail fell in love with the mirror. Yeah. As long as the fire doesn't mar the wood. That's quite good. I like that. That's interesting. And so we're going to have some more answers here in a second. So what effect did the snail have on the mirror, and what moral would you give the story? It's sort of a strange one today. So yes, a snail and a mirror. So what effect did the snail have on the mirror? Any second we're going to get a load of answers flooding in, I think. And what moral would you give to the story? First, he soiled it. I love that word, soiled. Never let a snail crawl over you. That's quite good as well, VG. I like that. Yep, notice this verb Victor Gabriel's used, to soil. To soil means to make dirty. It's a good word. Tomek, the snail covered the mirror with slime and dirt. The moral is love could be filthy. I think that's a good moral, Tomek. Well done, good work. Lavinia, the snail fell in love with a mirror because she liked the shining of the mirror. The snail climbed onto the mirror and made it dirty with the saliva, with the slime. The moral, don't keep animals inside. Thank you, Victor Gabriel. Manu, the snail found a mirror and she fell in love with it. That's great. Count Beauty, the snail fell in the past in love with the mirror and started to lick it. So it covered the mirror with slime and spoiled it. The moral is, lay with dogs and you'll wake up having fleas. I love the moral. Well done, Count Beauty. Oh, that's a good word, MG, to blemish. The snail blemished the mirror. To blemish is to mark, to make look nasty, to make look bad. Yeah? And Cheyenne, there's no accounting for taste. One expresses his love in a different way. That's quite good as well. I like your moral, Cheyenne. We're all different. Harvey, you should nip major problems in the bud. Okay, that's very good as well. Yeah? You should be ruled by your head, maybe not by your heart. So all things are not necessarily good for us. Okay, I think I'm going to put this up in a second. I think that we have rather dodgy connection today somehow. Okay, English vibes. The snail became obsessed with and excessively fond of the mirror, which showed himself so luminously and vibrantly dazzling that blinded the snail, and he walked all over it. But little did he know okay, Flexi Hill. Firstly, you mean slug, not slag. So the difference between a snail and a slug: a snail has its shell on the outside, and a slug has its shell inside the body. But be careful of this word slag, because a slag is an insulting word for a woman who sleeps with lots of men indiscriminately. To blemish and to blur. To blemish means to make bad, to dirty, to make a mistake, to stop something being perfect. To blur is when you can't see. Now that I take my glasses off, the whole world is blurred. Sorry, Renyard, I jumped. The snail was infatuated with the mirror and spoilt the mirror spoilt the object of her love. The moral: don't let junkies and no-gooders fall in love with you. That's very good, Renyard. And that's better, Lavinia. The snail fell in love with a mirror and it started to make it dirty with slime. The moral is clean the mirror every day. Perfect English, Lavinia. Well done. And moral: don't try to change someone who you love. The effect would be bad. Only birds of a feather should flock together. I like that, Alexei. That's a good one. Who you love. Yeah, that's it. MD Sarosh. The moral is not to let someone treat you like a doormat. That's very good English. Manjira. Being fascinated by the shine of the mirror, the snail fell in love with it and smote it. To smite is to hit. Covered it with dirt by walking all over it. That's great English, Manjira. Oh gosh. Nora, moral can be, vanity is the fatal pitfall that most of us inadvertently can be ensnared in. Wow, that's a brilliant formal phrase. English vibes. That he was actually dirtying the mirror and making it mucky, grubby and manky with an A. And filthier that it became unbearable, and even made fun of by a monkey. There, love leaves unsolicited traces. That's great English, Picorro. And Tanetra, people are known by the company they keep. Very good. Haida, the snails climbing all over the mirror. The snails climbing all over the mirror sullied the mirror. That's a good phrase, Haida. Making the mirror upset with him. Moral, don't fall, not fell, in love with someone who doesn't love you. That's great. That's good, Haida. And English vibe. The moral is that one shouldn't be too addicted to anything. Of course you should have high self-esteem, but being compulsively obsessed with something does you harm, and not anything, I would say, good. Lavinia, the mirror was totally blanketed by the slime of the snail that fell in love with it. Perfect English again, Lavinia. That sounds really good. Okay, I'm going to read the story now. Let me put it here. It might take a second or two to come through. Good evening, Maha. Nice to see you. Okay, so I'm about to read the story, the easy version. Good evening, Anderson Duarte. Wonderful to see you, my man. And English vibes, you shouldn't be smug, pompous and overly self-absorbed because it captivates you. And the snail became wrapped with himself in the mirror that it even imagined and looked on the world as he, love is blind. And so is the mirror now. That's really good, Javi. And English vibes, and his behaviour became uncontrollable. A slug is a snail with the shell inside its body. Okay, time to read. A snail found a mirror. When she saw how brightly he shone, she fell in love with him. She quickly climbed up onto the mirror's round surface and began to lick him with her tail. The snail was clearly no good for the mirror and only dirtied his radiance, his shininess, with filth, with dirt and slime. So filth is dirt and slime is mucus. A monkey then found the mirror after it had been dirtied by the snail and remarks, "That's what happens when you let someone like that walk all over you." So, the meaning of onto, this is easy. So, the pen is on my hand, Lavinia. I am putting the pen onto my hand. Onto is movement to a position. On is in a position. So, good evening, Bala, and good evening, Matt. Great to see both of you. So there we have the story, and now I'm going to change again and ask a couple of easy questions for us to finish up with. And so listen, the little hand is pointing upwards and a tiny bit to the right, and the big hand is pointing downwards, directly downwards. What time is it? Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's good English vibes. It moves from one place to another. Yeah. From the balcony, you throw a ball onto a trampoline or onto someone's head. So let me try this question again. The little hand is pointing upwards and a tiny bit to the right, and the big hand is pointing directly downwards. What time is it? The little hand is pointing upwards and a tiny bit to the right, and the big hand is pointing directly downwards. What time is it? I will definitely accept Javi's answer, and I like English Vibes' answer as well. Listen, the little hand is pointing upwards and a tiny bit to the right. You've got your hands the wrong way round, Lavinia. The little hand is pointing upwards and a tiny bit to the right, and the big hand is pointing downwards. So, Tanetra, Count Beauty, Sarosh, that's great. And Alexei as well. Yes, you guys are actually listening to me. I don't mind if you say 12:30 or 1:30. Okay, MD Sarosh, the hour to go to sleep. Well done, Renyard. That's the idea of this. So, in a watch or a clock, you have a little hand and a big hand, and the little hand shows the hours, and the big hand shows the minutes. So the little hand is pointing upwards and a tiny bit to the right, and the big hand is pointing directly downwards. What time is it? So 12:30, it could be 1:30. Yeah, but both of those answers are right. So well done, well done, Nisha. And Lavinia, you finally got it. Yes, you finally got it. Well done. This is a question where you need to listen and understand. Let me try another one. Okay, this one's easy. Name something you can eat that lives in a shell. Name something you can eat that lives in a shell. Name something you can eat that lives in a shell. Name something you can eat. Yes. Okay, you've got it now, Lavinia. You actually understood what it's saying. So, name something you can eat that lives in a shell. So, English Vibes. Also, the monkey's remark can also be indicating that you shouldn't let anyone control or dominate your manners and decisions. So, MG says a snail. Good, a snail. Crab. I like crabs as well. I'm very fond of these, what are they called? Spider crabs. Yeah? Tom K, a crab. Lavinia, a snail. Victor Gabriel, a snail, a crab. Tanetra, clams. I mean, I really, really like clams. I had clams on Saturday. And Tanetra, that's good, that's clams. A snail from Lavinia, and Victor, a crab. Tomek, a tortoise. I'm sure a tortoise is very tasty. A turtle as well, definitely. A clam, a big fish. Big fish don't normally have shells. Mussels, very definitely. Oysters, Lavinia, good. A snail, an oyster. Lobsters, well done, Tom K. Turtle soup. Prawns in some cases. Yeah, prawns definitely have shells, flexibility. And Renyard says an oyster as well. Okay, those look really good. So, let me put that there. Name something you can eat that lives in a shell. And let's... Vieiras. So, you mean scallops, Javi? I very often eat scallops. But the scallops, you can only buy them from about now until the middle of March or April. and they're not expensive at all. I love scallops, they're delicious. I ordered some for this week. And let's try the last question then. So, when is it darker? 10 minutes before dawn or 10 minutes before dusk? So when is it darker? 10 minutes before dawn or 10 minutes before dusk? Good evening, Humble Spear. So when is it darker? 10 minutes before dawn or 10 minutes before dusk? When is it darker? 10 minutes before dawn or 10 minutes before dusk? Clams, yum yum, Manu. Definitely. Clams are one of my big faves. When is it darker? Darker, Harry. Vibe says before dusk. Human says before dawn. It's both a twilight, but okay. 10 minutes before dawn, Tanetra, good. Before dawn it's the darkest. That's the phrase. It's always darkest before the dawn. Before the dawn, Nisha. Dawn is when the sun comes up, and dusk is when the sun goes down. Before dawn, before sunrise. So when is it darker? 10 minutes before dawn, 10 minutes before the sun goes up, or 10 minutes before dusk, 10 minutes before the sun goes down? It's got to be before the sun comes up. No, it's not the same at all. 10 minutes before dawn. Well done, Manu, and well done, Jibril. Yeah, or like this phrase they say. No, it's not equal. It is always darkest before the dawn. This is an idiom that they use. It means that when things are at their worst, that's when they start to get better again. That's the problem with these VG. You need to understand the words and be able to process the meaning of the words at the same time, and that's a very difficult thing. So when's it darker? 10 minutes before the dawn. Absolutely. Okay, my friends, enough for today. I will be back again next week, and we will do another class more or less like this. So 10 minutes before the sun comes up, Lavinia, it's still dark. 10 minutes before the sun goes down, it's still light. Yep, very good, Harry. I like that. So we're going to finish here, and I will see you all next week. Thank you very much. You've been a very good group. Take care, be safe, enjoy.